Decorating Fanatic here. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I think this is going to be a really fun video because I'm going to give you 10 shocking facts about me. So number one, it's not that shocking, but it's something you guys would want to know. My name's Colleen and I'm 48 years old. Fact number two, I got married when I was 15, and of course I had met somebody that was a couple of years older than me, and my parents didn't approve. So I decided I guess I would get married, so I guess you could say that I asked him to marry me. So we drove to Jasper County in South Carolina, and that's where we got married because I had to have my parents' signature. We've been here for so many hours here, and my dog is so bored. Go ahead, you recording? So of course this brings us to fact number three. Most people think that I got married because I was pregnant, and of course that wasn't true. But I did end up getting pregnant at the age of 16, and I had my son Justin at 17, and he's now 30 years old. So that brings me to fact number four. 10 years later, of course, I thought I was pregnant again, so I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta call my husband and tell him why he's at work. So he almost nearly fell out of his chair, telling him that I was pregnant again. 10 years later, of course, it's a shocker that you have another little one in the house. So that is Jared, his name's Jared, and he's 20 years old. Okay, fact number five. Of course, I had some friends in my neighborhood growing up, and I had this older friend, so one day we're all hanging out, and she's like, hey, I got some Indian ink, and I have a needle, we can give ourselves tattoos. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, why not? So anyways, we sat over at my friend's house on her front porch, and I took a needle, some Indian ink, and I just made a heart on my ankle, and then I gave myself a butterfly on the other ankle. And of course, when I came home, my dad's like, oh my God, she got a tattoo. Mom's like, oh no, that's just pen. And they're like, okay, that's it. You're not going to school the next day. And I think the next day was the first day of school, but of course, I went to school. But ever since then, of course, I've had a heart and a butterfly on my ankle. Now, just a couple of years ago, I did go and have them lasered off. I just didn't like them, so I decided to just have them removed. Fact number six, I've been married for 33 years. Now when I tell people I have a 30 and a 20-year-old, they assume that I'm divorced and had a child with somebody else, but of course that's not true. I've been married for 33 years. Fact number seven, I was 27 years old when we decided to build our first house. So I've been in my house for 21 years now. So of course at 27, I was super excited to be building my first house. We've always lived in apartments, so this house I thought was just the greatest. I had 4 bedrooms, 3-car garage, and I was pregnant at the time, so of course we searched for like 2.5 years for this house, and I finally told my husband, hey, I'm pregnant, we need a house right away. So I think that kind of, sped things up a little bit, because of course we were looking for 2.5 years. So finally we built our house, and then we moved in. A month later, I ended up having my second son. Okay, I think this is like take 27. Fact number 8, I hate the summers. Now, when I was younger, a teenager, and I had my son when he was little, I would spend the whole day at the beach, and I just absolutely loved it. Of course, I would get out there, and I was super tan, and I would use olive oil. I might have used olive oil one or two times, but no, of course, when I was at the beach, I would always put baby oil on my skin, because I always, my skin, I get super dark. So anyways, my son is the same way. So we used to spend days at the beach, not days, but shit. So of course when I was younger, I really enjoyed the beach and I enjoyed the summer months, but I think now as I've gotten older, I really can't tolerate the heat here in Florida. I don't even go to Disney World or do any activities outside, like standing in lines, because I think I would pass out. So anyways, I had a girlfriend invite me to Big Canoe one year. This was several years ago. And ever since, I've been going back there every year, and I just absolutely love it. Now, I've been in Dahlonega and Helen, I've been to Toccoa, I've been to Hartwell, I've been to the Blue Ridge Mountains. I've been all through the northern part of Georgia, and that is my favorite place. Now, I've been telling my husband, I want to move to Georgia. I want to get out of Florida, away from all the traffic, and I want to live my life in Georgia. Even when I visit during the summer months, you wake up to very cool mornings, and it's just pleasant, and he doesn't understand that because Florida is so hot, and I'm sure Georgia has some hot months, but when I'm up there, it's always been beautiful. So if anybody lives up there or anybody has visited any of the areas that they just love, leave me a comment, and also leave me a comment telling my husband he needs to buy me a cabin or he needs to buy me a house so we can move to Georgia, because that's going to be my favorite place that I want to live. Fact number 9, and of course I love animals, and I have little June bug here. He's my favorite dog, and I think Schnauzers are my favorite breed of dog. Now I always thought, oh, the little Yorkies are so cute, and of course I got a Schnauzer, and he has become my favorite breed. But I want to tell you how it all started. So it was Easter, and my husband surprised me with a little basket of little chickens. And of course, I love chickens. I've always loved animals. My mom said when I was 3 years old, I had a little chicken named that I would put in a stroller and stroll around the house, or outside the house, and that was my little pet growing up. So, of course, I've had chickens over the years, and I love the Silkies, I love the little Frizzles, so I would have, well, there's a pet store not far from me, so I can go in there and order a Frizzle, I can order some little Silky chickens, and so anyways, I want to tell you a couple stories about some of the chickens I've had over the years. Of course, I live in a deed-restricted neighborhood, so I'm really not supposed to have chickens, but I figured if they're not crowing, I could get away with having a little chicken as a pet. So, I had this one chicken, can't remember the breed, just a normal, regular little, I think a Banning chicken. So, her name was Michelle. Now, we have a pool, so my son would get the pool noodle out, and that little chicken would ride on the pool noodle, and we would take him around the pool. So, that was always really cute. Now, my chickens, I didn't have a fenced-in yard, so my chickens could roam around the yard, and of course, they'd go in the side yard and peck in the dirt and eat the little bugs and stuff. But one day, I found the chicken over in the side yard over at my neighbor's house, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's going to make a big, huge mess. It's going to scratch all the dirt in her mulched areas and stuff. So I went over there, and I stood in the backyard, and I named the chicken Michelle. So I called Michelle, and wouldn't you believe it? She flapped her wings, and she flew all the way over to me, and I was like, I couldn't believe that she did that, because I didn't know chickens. I actually called her by her name, and she came. So I thought that was the neatest thing. So anyways, I have another story about another chicken I had. His name was Maui, and I don't know what kind of chicken he was, but he had this top hat, little white little thing that would, those little feathers. So of course, as it gets dark at night, they want to try to find a place to roost. So I must have not got out there soon enough to put him up. So, early in the morning, I go outside my front yard, and I'm looking, and here comes this chicken down the sidewalk coming from my neighbor's house. I was like, oh no, the chicken roosted on their roof. And all I could think of is the neighbor coming over and saying, there's chicken poop all over my roof, what are you doing, So thankfully, I looked around, and I was checking to see if there was any chicken poop on the roof, and of course there wasn't, but that little chicken roosted on their roof at night, and then in the morning, it would come back, walk down the sidewalk, and come back to our house. So of course, I've had a rooster before named Bart. Now we ended up giving that to Jim's mom's because it was a rooster, and of course, the neighbors don't appreciate the roosters crowing early in the morning. So I figured, okay, so right now I don't have any chickens, so I'm waiting to get to Georgia, get my property, so I can finally have my chickens. And now the last fact, number 10, is I haven't worked in 21 years. But I figured, I stayed home with my kids, which I enjoyed staying home, and I love being a mom, and I do work hard. I do a lot of stuff around the house. I keep an immaculate house. I'm always doing the yard work. I've always done my own trees, trim my trees, mow my grass, edge. I do it all. So I feel like I've worked hard for those 21 years. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit better, and I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, but if you leave me a comment, I love to read any comments that you guys might have. Now, if there's any bed and breakfasts up in Georgia, or any special places you love to visit in Georgia, I'd love to hear. If you have a favorite animal, or you have chickens, or any kind of story you'd like to tell me about yourself, I would love to hear it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and of course, if you have any decorating questions, be sure to leave me a comment. And if you want to see any kind of decorating videos, again, just leave me a comment. And until next time, happy decorating!